Hi, welcome to Ikate's Crossing. Okay, so I got this new deck, the Native American Tarot, right? And I want to really sort of get to know the deities of the deck, the animals and the minor arcana. Really have a look at getting to really know this deck in a more intimate way. So what I want to do first is bring out the first 8 cards, right? From 0, the Fool, through to the Chariot, which is key number 7. Right, so what I want to do is just have a look and see, what do I see in this card? Okay, we've got a deity here with a dog. Okay, and it feels like they're racing ahead. It does feel like they're moving quite quickly, which is, they feel very free. They're free-spirited. But let's have a look and see what the guidebook... Now, the guidebook doesn't give you the keywords, the meanings too much, but it does talk about the deity. So I do want to sort of get to know the deity in this one here. Okay, so we have the divine trickster as the Fool, right? And it says here, the god with the head of a coyote is the anti-hero, the transgressor, the rebel that disrupts and mocks. He finds the keys to life in laughter. Changing molds overcomes rigidness and death. So there is a little bit of a keyword, but it doesn't give you a lot. Changing molds overcomes rigidness and death. So, okay, so we know what it says in the guidebook. It doesn't give you a lot. But, okay, we've got the Fool. So he's about new beginnings, new possibilities. He's stepping out of the void into the unknown. So there's an unknown path ahead for you. Now, it's definitely that free spirit. Dog to me is about that loyalty. So you've got that loyalty to your own path, your own journey, your own freedom. To me, it's a sense of freedom. That sense of just taking your time to enjoy your journey. There's no restrictions. Feels very unlimited possibilities. So there's a lot of that coming into that journey. So I really want to sort of connect with the trickster of this card. So take a moment to sort of take a breath. And I just want to listen for a moment to myself as I think about the trickster, think about the new beginnings, the dog, the moving ahead, stepping out of the void onto the path of light, and from the dark to the day, the sense of moving into the unknown, free-spirited. Okay, so now he's going to meet the magician. So with the magician here, we have this wolf, this staff. There's a turtle in it. It's kind of interesting, or a tortoise, whatever the land creature. Some mountains there. You feel like he's a very sort of chief orientated type of character here. Now let's have a look and see what it says in the guidebook. So we're having a look at what the guidebook says, just for these first few cards. Okay, he's Kokopelli, the Demurg, the magician. The shaman god controls both the cosmic order, the turtle, sorry, it is a turtle, with the chaos, the coyote, in order to supervise creation. That's why it's quite important to have a look at the guidebook and not assume what you think. So I wasn't sure whether it was a tortoise or a turtle, but it's a turtle, of course. Native American, it should be a turtle, of course, because of the land. Okay, so he's got the shaman god controls both the cosmic order, which is the turtle, and the chaos, the coyote, in order to supervise creation. Okay, so for Kokopelli, the Demurg. Now, I could go further and do a little bit of study online, find out a little bit more about Kokopelli, and to understand this deity. Okay, for me, the Magician is, so when I think about the tarot meanings, so he is willpower. He has that sense of manifesting what he wants you to see, not necessarily what is. So it could be a sleight of hand. He's a bit of a, again, I feel like you've got that sense of illusion. So he creates this illusion to what he wants you to see, the sense of, not everything is as it seems sort of energy, but you've got to use your skills and your abilities to manifest what you want, to manifest your own reality, your own perception, and it's not necessarily the actual facts, but they are what you want them to be. You've got to manifest that reality for me. Okay, so you've got to use your skills and your abilities to sense of mastering your skills and abilities. Okay, so we see what we've got in the card, and it can give you another layer here. So you think about the wolf, the sense of knowledge, wisdom, the sense of support if you're in a pack. If you think of the alpha wolf, you think of the pack, you think of the support, working together, but you've got that lone wolf energy as well. Could be that sense of doing things on your own. Interesting. Now we look at the High Priestess here. Now it's kind of interesting that we have the High Priestess with a young child in a cradle board, a cradle of some sort. So you have that sort of mothering instinct with this card, which is kind of interesting. So let's have a look and see who the deity is in this card. So this is what you want to do, is you want to get your cards out, pull out the first 8, and just go through slowly, having a look at what you see in the card. So you can sort of see the corn. So she's like a corn maiden of some sort. You feel that energy, that corn, she does have a sort of a nurturing energy. But let's see what she says in here. So here we've got the mother of maize and tobacco, the High Priestess. Okay, from Mother Earth comes life, epitomized by maize, continuity, and tobacco. She indicates rebirth, though an encounter with the divine, which is realized by traveling the labyrinth of oneself. Okay, for us there is that sense of spiritual rebirthing. Okay, this one's more of a spiritual rebirthing on some way, as things, that hidden knowledge is revealed. So I feel like there's a lot of hidden texts, a lot of hidden messages coming through. And it gives you that sense of rebirthing in a spiritual sense. Okay, with the continuing journey with the maze. Kind of interesting there. Okay, so next we look at the Empress. Okay, the Empress to here is an elderly woman. Okay, she's an elderly woman. Now she has bear energy. She has bear energy behind her. She has a lot of things around her. She's got a feather. Oh, and she's got a young girl beside her. Okay, so we've got the elderly crone with the young girl that she's teaching. I feel like she's teaching her something. It's a bit like a medicine woman teaching someone. So let's have a look. What do we got here? So this is Asnati Awekolowan, female initiation, the Empress. Okay. The moon and the bear allude to the feminine creative power based on weaving to renew tradition, bringing new energies. One must approach it with a pure heart. So this is a real creative energy. So here we've got given birth in a spiritual sense. Here you've got a creative energy with that sense of knowledge being shared with others, that sense of, so yeah, a feminine creative. So this is a very creative, renewing tradition, bringing new energy to something, bringing new energy to something. So that's kind of interesting when you start to sort of look in a little bit deeper energy. You see the bear behind her, bear energy with the moon. You've got the initiate with the learning, with the Empress here, with the creative energy. Okay, next we've got the Emperor. Okay, the Emperor, we've got hawk or eagle. I'm not quite sure yet. I have to look in the book. We've got again, you've got the elder, and he's teaching a young warrior or a young warrior. It does seem to be smoke, cloud. So let's have a look here at what this is. So we have the Emperor. Okay, the Emperor is a nippy, the male initiation. With the Emperor, initiation originates with purification. So that's where the smoke came in. So the purifying the energy. Try to silence the mind and heart to communicate with the divine. Recognize the power of the chief and obey him. It doesn't really talk about what the eagle or the hawk here is. Not quite sure. Doesn't really sort of say, but it's talking about obeying the chief. Through a cleansing energy, being able, so again, the chief's right of way. Again, the chief is sort of saying, hey, look, this is the right way to do it. This is what needs to be done. I'm providing you with this information and for you to do what is necessary to move forward on the journey. Again, I get that sense of being a leader, being in control of the situation. So kind of interesting there. Okay, next. Okay, we have the Hierophant. Now, the Hierophant would traditionally be like clergy or that sort of thing. But here I feel it's very shaman energy. You've got the connection to the animal totems in some way. So kind of interesting. You've got a staff here. So definitely feels a very sort of shamanic energy with the Hierophant. So I feel like there's a lot to learn, discover, traditional beliefs in regards, to the Native American way. So let's have a look. We have, we're Casawakan, the medicine man, is the Hierophant in this case. We're Casawakan, medicine man. The man outside the norm. He who has experienced everything and suffered every evil, and who therefore knows and heals. He guides the souls of the living towards knowledge, and those of the dead along the path of the hereafter. So he's the medicine man in this case. It's kind of interesting. So here we have the medicine man as the Hierophant. So you talk about him being healed. So he provides healing with his knowledge. Kind of interesting. Healing through the knowledge, through wisdom, that sense of spiritual tradition. He teaches a lot in that way. Right, next we have the lovers. Okay, lovers. So you get the sense of connection. You've got that third person, of course. So there's some choices yet to be made. As traditionally you think of the lovers as being about choices to be made in the relationship, that connection within the relationship. Depending on what the card is, with this, you've got that third person. So you could be in some sort of affair. All those things come into play depending on what other cards are around it, of course. So let's have a look and see what it says in the book. So we've got the twins as being the lovers. They create the earth by moving the mud and nourish it with the plant of continuity. Maize, eternity and change. Sunrise and sunset pursue each other in the two suns that shine on their heads. Sunrise and sunset pursue each other. So again, you've got that continued cycle coming into this relationship. Kind of interesting. Okay, so that gives you something to sort of think about. But for me, the lovers is all about choices, relationships, connections. So, you know, what connects the two in this journey. Okay, last card we're looking at today is the Chariot. Okay, so let's have a look and see what do we see with the Chariot. Okay, he's flying aboard on the birds. You've got the battles down below. Different chiefs, warriors, different warriors. And here he is flying above the flock, moving forward. Okay, with contemplation, moving into battle, moving on to the right path. So let's have a look and see what it says here. Okay, 7 is the sacred path, the Chariot. To the east is a road that leads afar. To the south, the road of the innocence of the heart. To the west, that of inwardness. And to the north, that of wisdom. The Great Spirit remains at the center. Oh, okay, so that's why you've got these warriors in different directions. Okay? So the north is the one of wisdom. Okay, the south is the road of the innocence of the heart. Okay, to the west is that of inwardness, so looking inward, and to the east is the road that leads afar. Kind of interesting. And in the center here is the Great Spirit. So here it's talking about the different paths you can take. It's all about finding that sacred path, that path that you're being led upon with great contemplation, with great focus to bring success or victory. If you know the traditional meaning of tarot, of course you get triumph. You get that moment of success, but you know that there's still more ahead of you. You're moving in the right direction. Kind of interesting. So there we've looked at some ideas on what you can do when you get a new deck. This is what I want to do, is sort of dive into each of these cards. Look at sort of the deities. Now, it doesn't mean that I remember them all, and because my memory's not that fantastic, but it does give me an idea of what the cards are about. Now, when I'm doing a reading for someone, they may not be interested in all the deities and all that sort of stuff. So all they want is a reading. They want the meaning of the cards. And so what you want to do is look at the image, know the meanings of what the cards could mean, and then combine them when you're doing a reading and to answer the question, right? So we're going to do these first 7 cards. Let me just shuffle these first cards, because this is what I'm doing at the moment. It's just looking at these first 7 cards. When I first pull out a deck, when I sort of want to dive into it. Now, you might have seen me with different decks do this, but to give you an idea. And there might be different ways that I do it at different times, depending on what the deck is like or what the deck's about. But one thing I like to do is just pull out Okay, so I've laid the cards out like this, and I'm just pulling 1, 2, 3. This is my message for today. Card I'm going to use for reflection. Okay, so I get, the first card is Chariot. So it's all about the direction that I'm moving in. So what direction, what do I actually need to go in? So this is contemplation. Contemplation and moving forward to get the success that I actually want. Comes from the full, new beginnings, being free spirit, giving myself permission to move in any direction that I want to go in this time. And I've got the High Priestess. And so we know that the High Priestess is this, with the maze, continuity, the sense of, there is this nourishing energy, this rebirthing in a spiritual sense. Remember, this is about your spirituality, the knowledge gained, the secrets, the sense of, hidden knowledge, hidden secrets, the sense of coming into this sense of, I want to say, just this rebirthing, this sense of coming into fruition. It is a sense of coming into fruition, but in a real spiritual way. So spiritually, I've got the sense of deciding in which direction I actually want to go into, right? To get the success that I want. And to give myself permission to do so is really important, which brings me, so when I surrender, so I get the sense of surrendering. When I look at these 3 cards here, I get a sense of surrendering to my own spirituality to allow me to bring success and victory into my life. Comes from my own spirituality, giving myself permission to do so, myself the freedom to do so, to move ahead, to be loyal to myself, to have that sense of being open to whatever happens. Kind of interesting. Okay, so here we have explored the first 8 cards of the Native American Tarot. We've looked at the guidebook, looked at the imagery, looked at what the traditional tarot meanings are, and how we sort of include all of that into the reading. So here I'm getting the sense of direction, lots of direction. Where do I go? Am I moving to a distant part, distance? Am I moving afar? Is that where my thing, is it about knowledge? Kind of interesting there. Okay. So it's given me some stuff to sort of think about, reflect on, and I'm going to do that for a couple of days, just looking at these few cards and really sort of getting to know them. Now, I'm not going to do this all on video or vlogging. This is a real personal thing. It was just an idea to sort of show you some of the things that I do when exploring a new deck, when I sort of want to get to know a deck, and so this is what I'm going to do. It's just, I mean, I can do a reading with it, no problem. That's not an issue. But I really sort of want to get to know the deities in a much more intimate way. Okay, so that's it from me. Don't forget to check the links down below. Check the links on my channel. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you know when the next video will be uploaded. Take care, and blessed be.